I used to really struggle with productivity and discipline. I would sit down on my desk and feel this internal resistance of just not wanting to move forward. I would spend hours and hours wasting my time, procrastinating, and watching a million different YouTube videos to solve a little problem in something that I've been doing, only to find out that the entire day is gone and I haven't done what I said that I would do. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I've learned about productivity and how I've been able to overcome that and how you can do it too. The first and most important step is for you to start disciplining the emotions and not the actions. You discipline your emotions by visualizing what it is that you want and tapping into that feeling deeply. Every day when I wake up, the first thought that pops into my mind is me living my dream life, having millions of dollars, and having the most influential and impactful self-development channel in all of YouTube. The moment that I visualize that, I get hyped up, I get excited, and I want to start my day. And it gives me that right attitude to get started. When you discipline your emotions and you are feeling absolutely motivated and inspired, the action will follow automatically because emotion creates action. The next step is to set yourself a minimum hygiene standard for how much work you're gonna do every single day. And make sure that it's measured in a specific output. So for example, for me right now, it's just to make one YouTube video every single day. If I make a video every day, then I know that even in the worst of days, I am making progress in the direction that I want my life to go in. Now that doesn't mean that that's all I do. There are some days where I work incredibly hard and I do a million different things and I really push forward and I create incredible value for myself and for my business. But not all days look like that, and that's okay. I'm aiming for the stars by setting incredibly high goals, but I make sure that I never land back on Earth. I always land back on the moon. So even on the worst of days, if I haven't made that one video, I need to make it. And if I did that, it's a win. The next tip is to follow your intuition. You see, some days you're gonna wake up with a lot more inspiration and creativity to work. And maybe you'll even want to work for 14 hours straight, just creating and making progress, and you're feeling incredibly inspired. And you're thinking, well, I should be going to sleep. Tomorrow I should wake up early. Just follow your intuition. Why would you stop an incredibly productive and creative work session because you're gonna wake up early tomorrow to keep working? Instead, just keep working with your inspiration and your creativity and your emotion, and then take it a little easier the next day. As long as you complete your minimum standard action, it's okay. Time to relax is often viewed as non-productive, as slacking off. When you relax, you're recharging yourself in order to be more creative and more productive and more charged up for the next session or the next day. They say that we only have 4 hours of deep work available every single day. Now, I've easily worked over 14 hours in a day and been super creative, but it is true that after 4 hours, your work output is just not the same. So make sure you take time to rest so you can recharge for your next work session. Now, this doesn't mean that you're gonna completely slack off, play video games, and go on social media when you rest. You see, that's not really resting because your brain isn't turned off. It is super engaged in hyper-stimulating activities. So instead, hang out with friends, maybe meditate or read a book. You can still rest in ways that help with your growth. Something that I've struggled with, and I think you've struggled with this too, is that maybe on some days you feel incredibly well and you're able to tap into those emotions and feel absolutely inspired and like your goals are just out of reach and you're getting there. Other days, it'll feel like your goals are these impossibly tall mountains to climb. You're confused, you don't know if you're headed in the right direction, you don't know what you're doing, and it just feels super overwhelming. It is incredibly important to observe your train of thought in those days, because the way that you speak to yourself is going to create the emotions that you feel, and it's going to create the actions that you take in your day-to-day life. So if you notice yourself at any point saying things like, I don't know if this is gonna work, I don't know if I'm gonna make it, this might not be for me, other people can be successful at this, but not me, you need to identify those and completely eliminate them from your mind. The way that you speak to yourself is incredibly powerful. So it is important that you always reinforce the positive thoughts. If he can do it, so can I. I've seen that it's possible, so I can do this. I'm no different. I'm empowered. These are my strengths. I am determined and I'm going to take all the actions necessary to get to my goal. Therefore, I will get there. You need to think this empowering thoughts and be in that emotion and not allow yourself to stray off that path. So in order to do this, I suggest that you start meditating and becoming more aware of yourself. Meditation is a great tool to do this because it allows you to be in the present moment and observe your thoughts. Now, the last tip I'm going to give you is the 80-20 rule. This is incredibly important and it's been a life changer for me. In any endeavor that you take on, 20% of the actions that you take will result in 80% of the results. And the other 80% of the actions will result just in a 20%. There is a small number of actions in your job, in your career, your business, or whatever you're pursuing that are going to give you the most benefit. And then there's going to be a lot of different things that you can do that are just going to add a little extra 5% each. For example, if you want to put on muscle and look better, the 20% that is going to give you the most results is going to the gym and eating protein. Everything else is a plus. But if you just do those things, then you're well on track. So you need to identify what your 80-20 is in whatever you're doing, and what are those actions that give absolutely outsized returns. And then double down on those. Work on the important tasks and just go with the flow. Don't let all these 5 a.m. grind set accounts bog you down that you're not enough and you're not doing enough. What matters is consistent and sustainable growth. And as long as you're doing that, you are doing incredibly well. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow for another life-changing video.